Hello and welcome to Ginos garden. It is day 40 in the garden from all the seedlings we have planted. We're going to do a progress report on everything. So we're going to take a view to the garden. Here in South Texas, it is the last week in March. Growing season starts earlier down here. So everyone's back from spring break. My daughter Catherine Ann, she was in Italy for spring break. She's back too, safe and sound. So I want to give you a little view now of everything from the seedlings. So I'm going to go grab this camera and walk around. And remember, I call this Farm TV in your backyard. So let me just take it off the little stand I have. Hold it here. We're just going to go right around. Down here, I see one of our patrollers. That's Lucas. He's on patrol in Gino's garden. He keeps all the varmints out. We do have another one named Mitch. We'll see if he joins in today. But right here in front of us is that triangle garden that I have. It was an herb garden at one time. So every year there's certain herbs we never need to buy because they just automatically come up. I'm laughing because there's so much basil in here, cilantro, there's onions in the front, and the things I have in pots, the bottoms are cut off. There's strawberries, and I see some strawberries right there starting. So all along here, there's carrots, onions, there's an eggplant. I mean, you name it, it's in here. I know there's a couple new dill I just saw growing right over here. There's a dill. So, you name it, it just grows on its own. We just need to pull the weeds. So, I want to make this time short. The first row, I don't know if y'all don't remember, it's the acorn squash. And there's tons of flowers in here. Each one of these has at least 4 flowers on it. So we're going to have a lot of acorn squash. The next row is the cucumbers. And what I did is I kind of pushed them over and I put mulch down so they grow where our broccoli and our Brussels sprouts are. Because the broccoli's gone just about. I just feed that to the rabbits. I cut a chunk off and give it to the rabbits. They poop, I put it back in the garden. So you can't get it any more organic than that. Let's see here. Like I said, those cucumbers are going to cover this whole area because this is the Brussels sprouts. And they're above my waist. So they look really nice in there. They grow right next to the stalk. I have a video, you can click on that. Right next to the Brussels sprouts is the asparagus. And it looks like I'm having asparagus tonight because they all need to be cut. But if I don't cut them today, tomorrow there'll be a fern. Here we have the Better Boy tomatoes. And look how tall they are. I'm going to get down here. They are really close to my waist. And there's definitely flowers in these tomatoes. So we are definitely going to have plenty of tomatoes. You can see them in there. There they are. Each one of them has at least 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. So, coming down the line, this is the one that got bitten off by a bird. Well, it's coming back. Looks like I just got it from a store. But no, it's coming back. And the one next to it didn't have plastic on the bottom. It's turning out real well. The other ones I put plastic on. And I do that in case there's a storm. When you first plant your plants, they're new, they're young. So any storm will knock them over. Now, at the end of the rows, I don't know if you can see and notice, there's one kind of stalk coming up. Well, that's all sunflower on each row. So as the garden grows, it's going to look pretty too. Now, these last 4 here are pepper plants. There's 2 here and 2 here. Those are red ones, and the next 4 ones are yellow ones. I was just really taking a look at this one right here, and I cannot believe that I saw a pepper right there growing. Look at that. Is that a beauty? And it's the last week in March. We're gonna have plenty of peppers. And then the rest here are all jalapenos. And you know they're great on the grill. They're kind of my favorite. What I'm gonna do is get on this next row, and last year I had green beans. This year I went with the purple beans. They're royal purple. Now, I think last time I filmed it was 9, now there's 18 of them. They're coming up real slow, but they're coming up. So I have a little faith in them. A little bit more down here, and at the end is the sunflowers, so they are looking real healthy. The next row is all the squash, and they are up to my knee. So always plant things at certain spots because you know they're going to cover up. Like all this wood here that you see, it's going to be covered by the squash. Same on the other side with the zucchini. That zucchini is going to be covered up on the other side. And actually in between the zucchini and the squash, there's a brick path. So they shouldn't, I'm going to just train them and actually push them to go out. That's what you do, is just train your plants. Okay, over here, there's a small sunflower. And that first thin row, that's all carrots. They're a little close together. Same thing with the beets. They are a little close together, but it's kind of an experiment because that other row is all radishes. They're very close together. What happens is they can join each other in the ground, and they kind of make weird shapes. So it's just a little experiment. Let's see what happens. And then what we have here, last but not least, is my favorite. It's called the Grape Tomato. Now, as you see, I have there's Lucas. I have a tape measure in the ground, and it's sitting down there at the bottom. Okay, and you can see it says 1 foot. It's just sitting in the ground, and I have that tape, and it's going up. I just want to give you the height of these. We are at about, I would say, 42 inches. So we're doing pretty good for 40 days. So I want to take a little walk down here and just let us see these tomatoes. They're all kind of high. And what it is, there's 18 of them. I have them in like a trellis. So I'm walking around here. Hold on. So they're going to be up to about 6 foot. And as you can see right now, if I bend down, I'm almost at 3-4 feet right here. They're pretty high. So it's going to be pretty cool looking. Little trellis tomatoes going through. And there is some grape tomatoes growing on here. On the other side, I think we can see them a little bit better. And the last row, I planted more sunflowers. What you want to do is always keep your sunflowers in the back of your garden. Because once they get so tall, they get 15, 20 feet, even higher, they'll shade your garden. So you want to keep them at the back. That's why they're on the back row here. And then they're on this back row. And as I was looking this morning, we have some volunteer tomato plants coming up. There's 2 right here. I call them volunteers because I didn't plant them. They just came up on their own from last year. They look pretty healthy too, and they usually do produce a lot. So, that is a look at all the seedlings. One more sunflower of the whole garden. This is the vegetable garden. So, from Ginos Garden, I want to say happy gardening to everyone. Start a garden somewhere. Ciao, baby. Molto bella.